Welcome to Up All Night DIY. I'm Monica. Thanks for joining me. I have 3 easy, primitive projects. Let's get into it. I have a 7 1/4 by 9 inch piece of scrap wood, and I've cut a square of scrap muslin, 2 plies, to fit my board. I'll be making this into a pocket. I fold a hem at the top of the fabric, and I'll do a running stitch completely around the edges. I made this 2 layers to give the pocket some extra body. Ideally, this would be done with painter's canvas, but I didn't have any, so this will do. It's a quick stitch around the perimeter. I'm using black thread because I want the contrast, but it's a matter of preference. I'll cut off those strings, and now I'll add an extra line of stitching across the hem. This is purely for aesthetics. To crunch up my fabric, I'll stain it using coffee and cinnamon. I'll be staining all of my project's fabric with this. I have 2 cups of hot coffee, and I'll add a shake of cinnamon. I dip my fabric in it, and I'll give it a good stir. This fabric has been pre-washed to get all the sizing out of it, so I'm going to let it soak for about 10 minutes, and then I'll squeeze out as much of the coffee as I can. Then, to add even more body to the fabric, I'll dip it into some starch. I squeeze out the starch, and I'll set it in the sun to dry. So while that's drying, I'll stain my board. I'm using Folk Art Antiquing Medium, just a quick coat, and I'm wiping it back with a paper towel. I'll apply a layer of charcoal stain on top of this layer. I'm making my own stain using JoSonja Retarder medium and Ceramcoat charcoal. I mix it up on my plate, and I apply it the same way. This will give it a deeper, richer color, more distressed and aged looking. Now that my fabric's dry, I want to add a grain sack stripe on the pocket, so I'll run a bit of tape down the center, and I'll flank that piece with another piece on both sides. I remove the middle strip of tape, and I'm going to use that to anchor the fabric, and with a cosmetic sponge, I'll pounce on some Ceramcoat cable knit gray. I add thin tape along the edge of the stripe, using another piece as a spacer. And I'm reusing the blue tape, which I line up with the spacer. I remove the spacer, and I repeat this on the other side. And I'll pounce my stripes again. You can see that I'm not being overly neat. This is a primitive piece, so I want it to look aged. And there we have it. I'm using thumbtacks to attach the pocket to the board. I push them in as far as I can, but I'll need to whack them with a hammer to get them flush. I cover the tacks with a piece of fabric so I don't scrape them up. One of the best parts about using these tacks is I'll be able to remove them and reuse this wood should I decide to use it for another project later on. I drill a hole center top, and I'll add my wire hanger. Only thing left to do is add some greenery. And there we go. I think it looks really cute. Hope you like it too. Aren't these sunflowers cute? Super easy too. I've already stained and starched my fabric. My muslin has 2 layers just like before, and I've drawn a 6-inch circle onto it. I've drawn a 4-inch circle onto my ticking, which will be the center of the sunflower. You can see how good and stiff this fabric is, and that's just from the starch. So I'll cut out my circles. I trace the small circle in the center of the large circle. Now, you don't have to do this, you could just pin it there for the next step, but I thought it was easier this way. So I'll cut slits from the edge to the line of the center circle, and they'll be about 1 inch apart, and I'll do this all the way around. Now I'll cut points onto the petals. To give a fuller look to the flower, I'll unpin the layers and I'll turn them slightly so that the petals are staggered. I'll pin my center on and I'll do a simple base stitch around the edge. I'm just doing this with needle and thread. I'll go about 3/4 of the way around the flower and leaving an opening so that I can stuff the center. I've left my thread attached, and I'm using polyfill to stuff the center. You can use as much or as little as you like. I want mine to have some body to it, so I'm going to stuff it relatively full, I think. Yeah. And then I'll stitch close that opening. I make sure my final stitch is in the back so I can tie it off. And you won't see the knot. And now I'll fluff open those petals and kind of crunch them up a bit. I'm going to lightly mist the flower with some water. I'm staining my flower with some ink in Vintage Photo and black. I feel like misting it makes the ink stick better. I'm pouncing the ink on with a cosmetic sponge, making sure to get both layers. There's no rhyme or reason, just until I like what I see. I'm doing the underlayer first. I just felt that it was easier. And then I come back in with the black. I also add ink to the center of the flower. I'm concentrating mostly around the edges with the black. I want rusty safety pins to embellish the sunflowers, so I'll dab my pins with Mod Podge both sides. Then I'll dab on a layer of burnt sienna, followed by a shake of cinnamon. And once they're dry, I'll spray them with the clear matte sealer. That'll keep the cinnamon intact. And then I just pop them right onto the center of my sunflower. Look how cute. I love the way these turned out. These are going to look great as a bowl filler. DIY number 3, super quick and easy. I stain 3 clothespin pegs with folk art antiquing medium and my charcoal stain. And again, I'm just doing it till it pleases my eye. Now I stained and starched these strips of fabric at the same time as I did my other fabric. So all I'm going to do is wrap the fabric strips around the peg, tie it off, and add a safety pin. Sorry, I didn't realize I was out of shot, but you get the idea. Struggled a wee bit to get that pin open, but there we go. Struggling to close it too. There we go. How cute and super simple. Here's the final look. I lean more into rustic, primitive decor in late summer. I feel like it's representative of the effects of the long, hot, sun-baked summer weather, the lazy dog days of August. So I hope you like these late summer projects, and I hope you'll give them a try. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. There's a list of supplies in the description box. Stay creative, my friends. Thanks for hanging with me. See you next time. Up all night with Monica.